To part one of our travel diary. This is sorry. Chances are, over the next couple of videos, we are probably going to be sounding a bit hoarse, a bit worse for wear. The jet lag is really strong, very strong. But we've just literally got to power through it because literally, you know, the PHL back in full swing the moment we landed last Friday, March 20th. And there's so much content we've got to do, not just for the trip, but also for Pebble as a whole. I've still got a lot of Olympic hockey show stuff to still do. We've got to do Dreamland Season 2. And of course, I'm working on a little special side project. The pilot, which I got recorded for way away. That should hopefully be coming out at some point in 2026. At some point. Yeah. So if we sound a bit hoarse over these next couple of shows, you know what? The jet lag is really kicking in. We're missing someone. Oh, join the hole? Yeah, well, you're wearing that. Oh, sorry. Come on, Nordy. Thank you, boy. Come on, my darling. There we are. See, I'm so struggling with. Give me some love for me, Nordy. Thank you, darling. See, I'm so struggling with the jet. I forgot to bring you up, Nordy. That's bad. That's a bad start. That's a bad start. Hi, Nordy. How's it feel, George? It kind of feels. It's a bit of a surreal feeling, you know. I mean, if you go back to 2009 when I became a shark, you never would I think I'd be wearing another team's jersey. But this is what happens when you become a dual affiliation, when you get a second team. This is what happens. And I knew to cover because obviously when we're heading out there, we'll talk more about this when we get to the Tuesday, because that's when Nordy came onto the scene. I always knew we were going to. I wanted to have some souvenirs, not just to remind me of my time in Denver, but also to the fact, obviously, I obviously have an affiliation with the Wild. I wanted to buy a Wild jersey. And all that. Hope you get this little guy here. Yeah. So, Nordy's going to join us for all the Minnesota days, and our little Denver souvenir will join us for the ones that were in Denver. But we'll keep that on the wraps for now. You're going to have to wait until part 3. You're going to have to wait until part 3 for that. Okay, so part 1, we're going to talk about day 1 of the trip, which is first day, March 12th, 2026. And it's basically travel day. Yeah. Always stressful when you're flying out to the States. Oh, it always is. I mean, the amount of flights you have to do and all that. But I think we coped really well. Yeah. We coped really well. I mean, by the time we got to Minneapolis, it was so exhausting. Yeah, did we get to our hotel about, what, 7 p.m? Not on after 7 p.m. The Nordy's game against Hatter literally was just starting. Yeah, and I also had a Sharks game in Boston to track as well, so that was a bit of a... yes, it wasn't straight to bed as soon as we got here. It was literally... Well, I think you waited until both games were finished before you started thinking about bed. Yeah, I did. You did. I remember that well. Yeah. Yeah, so do you want to talk about beforehand? Well, yeah, because obviously the night before we were flying out, obviously this Boston fleet were at the Seattle tour, and we were debating should we or should we not start to watch that game. But because of the time differences and the fact that America's already changed their clocks, it meant that we thought, well, let's watch a bit of it, and then if we can, and then see what happens. Yeah, but we managed to get the whole of that game in. I think not long after the fleet tour game, we then basically headed straight out to the airport. On the Wednesday night, I got about roughly 3 hours, 45 minutes of sleep. Yeah. And then I think it was roughly like 10 minutes ago before that game started. I was awake, so I got you two down with basically when Dad watched it, and just for the rest. And it was a really good game. That was a really good game to watch. I mean, honestly, wow, that was a yeah. So that was that. We head straight to the airport. So started in Manchester as always. As you guys know, that's what I'm a born bred Mancunian. So started in Manchester. Yeah, Terminal 2, which we don't normally go in often. No. No. Have I ever been to Terminal 2 before? I'm not sure I have. But of course, this time it was flying to States was different. Normally with flying to States we have to go by Manchester Heathrow. This time it was Manchester by Dublin, which I preferred so much more than from Manchester to Heathrow. Okay, yeah. But before we got to Dublin, you did it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because obviously we were flying out on the first day. We knew that Drox and Jills were going to be recording later on that day. I thought, right, should I maybe try and see if we can do get some last minute advice from them about what it's like being there. So I thought, right, I'll compose that email, get it sent off, and if they get to see it, great. If not, it doesn't matter. We'll have a good time away. I'll talk more about it on the next part. Okay, but but I composed that email when we were in Manchester Airport, and then had it scheduled to be sent when we were landing in Dublin. So first flight, Manchester, straightforward, easy, only about an hour. Get to Dublin, and it's just so straightforward. Okay, yes, we did have to do security. We did have to do security, but it wasn't like with Heathrow. It's like, well, where are you supposed to go? Are you supposed to go here? Are you supposed to go there? Yeah, so it's just like, and it just eats into your time. Yeah, it just like eats into your story time. I kind of feel with both flights in Dublin, it didn't eat into stoppage time. No, and I think with both flights from Dublin, stoppage was fine. Yeah, because you were really not happy that for the flight from Dublin to Minneapolis, we had a 5-hour stoppage, roughly a 5-hour stoppage time. You were not happy about that. But I was the one who was saying I preferred that because we've never been to Ireland before. This is our first time in Ireland. So we've never been to this type of war. We need those 5 hours. We needed those 5 hours, and it didn't feel like 5 hours. Well, when you factor in breakfast, last minute lose, it didn't really feel like it was 5 hours at all. And there was a lot of news dropping. I know about the national telegate. Yeah. We had a fair amount of news drop when we were in there. I don't know what I was expecting to happen when we did fly out to Minneapolis. I just thought it'd be just Drox and Jules. But no, we had quite a lot of PHL news drop in that week. We had a lot drop. So, yeah, it was just whoo-de-la. Busy. Yeah. How did you find it? Because I thought it was alright. Yeah, although I think it could have been better because we found a better kiosk shop. It was fine. Yeah, but you had to have like Irish you had to have like Irish version. You're good. Are you about to make it sound like it's xenophobic? Why we couldn't find the WH Smiths? You said there was a WH Smiths in Ireland. Alright, I googled it. Doesn't mean they can tell you where it is. We had one of those Irish kiosks where and it's weird Irish prawn cocktail crisps. I ate them. I ate all 3 of them. Right. Okay. So those kiosks in Dublin's airport were very helpful. Okay. There's plenty. Like they literally had exactly what you needed to go and apply. Yeah. No problem. So I don't know what you're complaining about. Okay. So we'll leave off that. Yeah. I thought it was quite a nice airport. Very spacious. Yet at the same time, you didn't feel like, oh my god, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, whereas Heathrow's too massive. Heathrow's far too massive. I've said plenty of times how I don't like Heathrow, so I'd rather go both was that I'd rather be from Manchester to Dublin and then Dublin to where I would go into Minneapolis because it just works better. Yeah. It just felt we didn't do body security checks and all that. Yeah, that was good. I have to say the flight felt long. Oh, it did like a bit. Yeah, flying out to Minneapolis, it did feel like quite a very long flight. I think it was about 7 hours, 8 hours flight from Dublin to Minneapolis. It did feel like quite a long flight. And I feel like these days, when I fly to the States, my mind is kind of like it kind of feels like disorientated. It's like it doesn't know what to do itself. Does it want to watch? Does it want to watch something? Does it want to try and get some sleep? Yeah, I kind of feel like these days whenever I take a flight out to the States, my mind's always like, well, I can't do. What do I do? Do I try and get the shot eye? Do I try and? Yeah. Well, I think initially you did fall asleep, but unfortunately you didn't stay asleep long enough, and then you did basically work. Yeah. Was that the same for both flights? Yeah, it was the same for all flights. You tried to sleep most of it, but ended up waking up way too early for our iPhone. Yeah. So we basically just used iPlayer and YouTube because those screens that they have on your in the flights, they are too bright. They are too bright. Even though everyone knows you're supposed to have the plane's lights dimmed when you're flying over in dark, but then in our entertainment screen, they are so blinding, just then distorted. Right, so I thought, I'm just gonna stick with the phone. Yeah, so we had iPlayer. We had stuff downloaded from iPlayer, we had stuff downloaded from YouTube, we had stuff downloaded from Disney Plus, stuff downloaded from Netflix, so we were all pretty much set. So we didn't fancy the in-flight entertainment systems, we could then just use our phone, which is what we did for all flights, including the ones to Denver, even though Denver technically were quite short flights. Yeah, but I thought we may as well anyway. Yeah. Denver should have been when you got the book out. Oh, I know, because obviously I packed the first book of the Game Trainer series to take with us. Didn't get opportunity. Yeah, didn't get opportunity. Yeah, because I just stuck to YouTube. Yeah, so didn't get an iPlayer. So we didn't get opportunity. We'll do eventually though. Don't you worry. I'm gonna get stuck into that very soon. This always happens when I go out to the States. I always pack a book with me just in case. If you have any downtime, but. It was all fine. Yeah, so smooth, straightforward. It did feel like a very long flight. We landed in Minneapolis in the early evening. We got into our hotel at not long after 7 p.m. And this is how you can tell when you've arrived in the state of hockey, when the hotel staff in your hotel, you're about to check in, are wearing Wild jerseys, because that's what they did. That's what they did. They were literally all the stuff to check in were literally wearing Wild jerseys. Now we knew, of course, that the Wild were going to play. They were playing Hazard, the Philadelphia Flyers, so we knew that a game was going on. The irony that on the day we were flying to Minneapolis and back from Minneapolis, the Wild were at home ice. What were the chances, boys and girls? Those odds put about 500 to 1 there, George. Yeah, fair dues. But that kind of took me by surprise. How really you can because obviously you wouldn't see that in England. You would not see that in England. If you came to a hotel in England, you would not see the hotel staff wearing the town's local soccer team's jersey. You wouldn't see them do that. You wouldn't see that because we have very strict uniform dress codes. You wouldn't catch that. But I thought it was a bit strange how. I mean, yeah, I'm in the state of hockey, and yet, and it felt. No, it's like it felt a bit crazy. Can I tell what jersey they were? Do you remember what jersey they were? What you're wearing is the road jersey. They were wearing the home jersey. Yeah. So it just a bit odd. Like, well, we never got that in Saturday, or last year in Philly when the field was supposed to be the talk of the town. We didn't see that. Yeah, it's like what? Yeah, it's like crazy, absolutely crazy. Yeah, to have seen that. Yeah, just blew my mind. It literally blew my mind. But that's the way you can tell that you are in the state of hockey when you get into your hotel, which actually wasn't too far from Grand Casino Arena. You go to the hotel, and the staff are wearing wild jerseys. In fact, Nordy, you're wearing. There you go. That's the jersey. That what Nordy's wearing. I mean, no, for those of you listening, obviously, but what Nordy's wearing, that's the jersey they were wearing. I've obviously bought the road one to explain more. We get later on in this hard yeah. There you go. So yeah. Naughty. Yeah. So we get to our hotel room. I obviously set my devices to the Wi-Fi, and then obviously, of course, both my AHL teams had games on. The Sharks were in Boston, and then Nordy, as you all know, was hosting the Flyers. Yeah. So I kind of thought, right, I'm not gonna start getting ready for bed until maybe after these games. Yeah, you kind of felt you need to keep for them. Yeah. So I remember you didn't put your phone back on charge until after the game's finished, and then went to the loo, and then yeah. So actually, it ended up being quite a late bedtime. Well, it was a late bedtime for all games really, because I struggle sleeping, and when you factor in getting back from the game, yeah, and so forth, yeah, it was just yeah. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Can I just say one thing? Should I mention we'll talk about the hotel? Because we are going to do that on the hotel. Maybe say it before we talk about the hotel. Well, say we'll talk about the hotel. Okay, right, okay. I just want to talk about the beds, but I will say we are going to do an episode on the hotel, so we'll do that episode then. Love the hotel. Brilliant. Yes. So it was quite a late start. In case you're wondering, Nordy lost and Sharky won. Yeah, it was yeah. So yeah. So it was one of those where it's like, okay, yeah, come see, come star. One team won great, but the other team didn't. Can I just ask you, George, right now, as we're getting towards the thick of things, who would you prefer to see win games over the other? I'd rather Nordy. I'd rather, at this late stage in the NHL season, I'd rather Nordy gets the wins rather than Sharky, because Nordy's got a better chance at making a playoff run rather than Sharky. Yeah, so, yeah. Are you going to watch Wild playoff games? Because you didn't last year. Well, I did it last year, because obviously last year I was so angry with what the NHL did. Yeah. It depends on the scheduling, because I think the playoffs in the Stanley Cup begins while we've still got our regular season. Yeah. It's the 18th April. Oh, so wait, so, oh yeah, so it all depends. Okay, it all depends, yeah. I might just do Nordy. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Because I don't see anybody taking Nordy's passport away, do you? No. Nope. That sensible business has just been the same top three since maybe December, late November, beginning December, and neither of those three have dropped out of the top three in the Central. Yeah, so no, I shouldn't jinx your spot, Nordy, but I think you probably are safe. We will definitely be seeing you in the playoffs. Whether or not you can win a round, that's another story. Yeah, because the Wild have not won a playoff series since 2015. Wow. Yeah. Well, I think they would like to forget what happened last year. Yeah. So it's just like a nice, smooth start to the proceedings. No hassles. No problems with luggage. It was all smooth sailing. We got into Minneapolis at a very reasonable time. And it was just, yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So we were all set, ready to go. What was going to be a thrilling start to the trip. Any more thoughts before we wrap up? I just felt so relaxing with all the flights going smoothly. Because our first time being in Dublin, you do worry that, oh, what if something goes wrong? But it all just was pretty sane. I thought it was very good. Yeah. Any more thoughts before I pull? Shall I just wrap up? I need to wrap up. Okay. So that concludes part 1. On the next part, we'll be looking back on day 2, which of course was our first day of the trip, when our Minnesota Frost will be hosting one of the 2 expansion teams this season, the Seattle Torrent. So that's going to be on the next part of our trial diary. How should we sign off? Do I like your way through the podcast, George? Okay. Yeah, so that's what's coming in part 2. So until then, take care, guys, and don't forget to feel the freeze.